What's up, PG? It's Mark Haynes from Clutch Points. You've been in the All-Star game before. I just wanted to get your thoughts on your first All-Star appearance and how was that for you?
The first All-Star appearance was awesome. I got to share my first one with some greats. One of the most, memorable moments was sharing spaces with KG. We were right next to each other, our lockers, during one of our practices. And, just the conversations having with him at a young, I was probably 20, I think 22, 23, my first one. But to be able to share those conversations, have those talks with him, it was awesome. It was dope. I built a brotherhood with him and a mentorship, from him. So I think that was most memorable for my first All-Star appearance.
Thanks. Go to Mark Narducci.
Hey, Paul, they announced that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are not being able to play tonight. Just your thoughts on this whole All-Star game. Do you agree with being able to stage this and play with all that's gone on?
Honestly, I did it. You have situations like we're dealing with today. It's just an unfortunate time in the world where our health, and safety, should be at the front of the helm. So I personally didn't agree with the game, but it is what it is.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Go over to Christos.
Hello, Paul. Hope you are doing well. I would like to ask you, how different is the game tonight without fans in the stands? And how special is it for you to be an all-star?
It's always special. It's always, something that you can't take for granted. As I'm getting up in age and getting up in years, I understand, these young guys are coming in and I'm not going to be an all-star forever. So definitely don't take it for granted. But it's going to be different. I think what makes All-Star Weekend, the All-Star game, such a big moment is that we get a chance to play in front of fans and the stars come, to the games. And, we're the feature around, everyone that gets to see us on one stage. So, it's kind of defeating the purpose. If we're not having fans here to kind of see the show, then what are we doing it for? And so, it's a bit of a difference. It's a change, but, it's I guess, it's something new. So we'll roll with the flow and continue it going.
Thanks. Apologies in advance if I messed your name up. This is Jasha. You can go ahead.
What's going on, Paul? Congrats on All-Star. So this All-Star game today is in dedication to shine a light on HBCUs. So my question for you, if you could take it back, a couple of years and start your college career at HBCU, what would it be and why?
I'd probably go to Grambling.
Okay.
I'd probably go to Grambling. My people from the South, my mom and dad from the South. So, that'll probably be my school of choice. That's kind of close to where my parents' origin is, being in Grambling. So that'll probably feel close to home, so to say.
We'll go over to Law.
Hey, Paul, great to see you, man. Two things real quick. You missed the last game due to dizziness. Just wanted to make sure everything's good there.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm all good. It's just a lesson learned. I think I had too much caffeine and it really just blew me out. Had me dizzy and I was tweaking. But I think it was just too much caffeine at that time, and it made me real jittery, sped me up. And I just was, dizzy. I couldn't play. So it's a lesson learned on that situation. Never have too much caffeine, all that too close back to back.
I feel you on that one. Well, glad everything's good there. Wanted to get to the fact that we're coming up on a year since we've had fans and everything, but also you made the decision to come to Los Angeles to play. And I mean, Los Angeles is a much different place over this past year. And, being a professional athlete in the city, being from the area, I wanted to know, what have you learned the most about Los Angeles, both since you joined the Clippers and since this pandemic started?
I mean, it's just a great, sports city. It's a great sports town. And it's funny, just the rivalry between Lakers and Clippers, just within the city. I didn't really understand it or see it. Growing up there, I just always thought, it was Lakers dominated it, which they did, and they have, based off of, championships and trophies. But there's a real rivalry within the city on Lakers and Clippers. I think now with myself, Kawhi joining, we've gained, some traction and some steam on, fans loving us and enjoying this team. And then you look at, the success they've been having without Kawhi and I being here. They've definitely gained an incredible fan base. But there's like I said, there's a real rivalry within the city that I haven't and I didn't understand and recognize until I became a Clipper. That is real, and it's fun, being a Southern Californian and someone that grew up in the LA area, LA County. It's just awesome to be able to have two really good basketball teams, and I think LA is one of the hottest beds for NBA talent. When you look at all the guys that are in the league and all the upcoming talent coming from Southern California, it's just awesome to be a part of that culture that can continue producing high-level basketball players.
Thanks, go to Brandon Harper.
Yeah, what's going on, PG? I just wanted to ask, do you have any favorites tonight in the skills challenge, 3-point contest, or the dunk contest? Are you looking at anybody in particular?
Not really. I'll be there as a spectator as everyone else that'll be there. But no, don't really have no favorites.
Thanks, go to Scott.
Hey, Paul, I was talking with Cassius, and he said he was texting with you, had worked out with you and Mike a couple of years out in LA. What do you remember about working with him, his ability to get up on dunks, and also your first dunk contest that you were participating in?
Yeah, Cassius is the young pup. Cassius, I've been working with Cassius for a couple years. He would come work out with us, as the youngin'. And I've seen him develop and grow and be the player and the person that he is now. So his skill set is I think people have yet to really see what he's really capable of. I was able to see it firsthand. He really has all the tools. He could do a little bit of everything. And he's blessed. He's a gifted athlete, a blessed athlete. And, I know he's going to wow. I know he's going to go out. He's going to put on a show. I told him, when we had our conversations, really is to show his personality. I think that's what, will benefit the most. And what draw fans and to draw the attention the most is if he can show his personality, really show his flair, have fun with it. His dunking is off the charts. He's going to wow everybody on the court. But it's the antics after, I think will really, put his whatever he does, all his dunks will really put it to the fullest light. And then just remember my first time, I was real nervous, but I had fun with it. It was an opportunity and experience of a lifetime. I was fortunate to be able to be in it twice. You know, and again, it'll be stories, you know, even when I watch it and I look back on it now and watch, you know, myself in the dunk contest, it's just cool. It's a cool time on my timeline to be able to go back to and, you know, be able to put on a show.
Let's go over to Dan.
PG, what's up, man? Good to see you. In your time in this league, how has sort of what's defined as successful practice changed? The intensity of practice, the frequency. What do you think the biggest shifts in that philosophically have been, and what do you think the benefits and some of the drawbacks are?
Well, I mean, it's shifted big time from when I came into the league. You know, practicing, you know, pretty much every day. You get one day off, but you're practicing hard. And you know, it's a different situation. I was on a team that was, you know, motivated. We had to get better. I was on, you know, a team that, you know, you play in the Midwest. It's a different culture in the Midwest. It's hard nosed. It's, you know, putting a helmet on and going to work. To where now I'm on a veteran team and a team that has a chance to win. And, you know, we can't, you know, have any injuries, any setbacks. So it's definitely a different league than what I came in at. I think the pros of it, limiting the practice, is, you know, you keep guys fresher. You reduce the levels and the chance of being injured. The cons of it is, you know, I always felt good practicing because I felt like I was conditioning my body and my mind during practices to go hard and putting my body through, you know, a lot of stuff. So when it came to the games, it was easy. I always felt games were easier because we practiced so hard. And I would see every coverage. I would see, you know, everything unfold during practice. So when it came into the game, I knew how to, you know, kind of play through stuff and manipulate offenses and manipulate defenses. You know, so there are some pros and cons to it. I think at the end of the day, you know, it's a fine line. I think teams should still have practices, but there's a fine line of how much you want to practice throughout a year.
Paul, real quick to follow up, you've been in some Frank Vogel practices. You know how addicted to the work Frank is. This year, the Lakers, like everybody else, they don't practice. Teams don't, or when they do, that's light. Can you imagine Frank in those, like a light workout, like the restraint it must take Frank to kind of hold back, kind of knowing his personality and knowing the kind of work he likes to put in?
Yeah, I mean, that was new. Frank was going through the transition. I've been through the transition with Frank from when we were practicing hard to when, you know, as we were getting good, as we were number one team in the East at one point, where it started to change, where he was like, you know, I need to give these guys a break here and there. I need to give these guys a day off. We need to go light today, or this guy needs to take a break. Like, I think during the transition, the loads and all of that stuff started to become a thing in the NBA. So I was in that transition with Frank. But, you know, it's funny now because Frank is a big guy that believes in working hard and putting the work in and being prepared. You know, it is funny now because I know that's eating at him a little bit, that he can't, you know, practice as much as he probably wants. But I mean, knowing Frank, I know that's not stopping him from working and you know, making sure he's prepared and his guys are prepared.
Thanks. We got time for a couple more. We'll go to Andrew Gray.
Hey, Paul. Obviously, we're coming up on a year ago from everything shuts down for the league, and you guys had just been in San Francisco. And I'm just curious, I think we all were at that time. You're kind of wondering, what does this mean? What was when you heard the league was suspending? Did you have any initial thought of, oh, maybe it's out a week or two, and then when did you really realize like this could be a long-term wait?
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly how I felt. I thought it was just going to be a little, you know, pause into the season, maybe like a week or two, and we were going to, you know, come back. But as it started to get, you know, bigger and bigger, and it was happening all across the world, not here in just the U.S., but across the world. Then it was like a realization, like, man, this is going to take a while. Like, this is a real possibility that, you know, life won't be back to normal as it once was. Like, this is going to be the new norm. You know, realistically, that's how I've been thinking, and that's how I think still, even to this day, that this will be the new norm. You know, it's just, you know, something that's just, you know, something that you have to be mindful and careful about. But it was tough, you know, especially last year. We was a team that was playing so well, and we were doing so great. We were clicking, we were gelling, we were rolling, and then it happened. You know, it was a tough setback for us as a team. You know, not only in the world, but just, you know, us as a team. You know, we felt that really affected us when we came back to playing again.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, and we'll go ahead and close out with Charlie Widows.
Hey, Paul. Earlier you were talking about Cassius, and just speaking of young pups, can you talk about what you've seen from Terrence so far this year, and especially his confidence in his jumper?
Yeah, you know, I'm one of T-Man's biggest fans. I just love the kid. He reminded me of myself so much coming into the league. Just a kid and a player that can do just about everything on the floor. He's a strong kid, strong body. You know, he's very mature for his age. He's a hard worker, and he just leaves it on the floor. You know, I have conversations with him, you know, just to try to expedite the process I went through. But I have conversations with him just on, you know, it's okay to be where he's at. Just continue to keep working. You know, because again, I see so many similarities in myself, in him, that, you know, I went through, you know, on you know, shooting the ball, confident shooting the ball. Because I was in those same situations where I was in the corner, the young guy. I was there for defense. I was there for energy, and I tried to shine and become a star in that role. But you know, he's like me. He wants more. He wants more. And you know, I've been trying to help him through that process. But I love what T-Man brings. I love what he stands for. He's a hard worker, like I said. And you know, he's got a great future. I think he's going to be in this league very long, and he has a really good chance to become a really, really, really good player in this league.
He seems like the type of young guy who like looks for help and asks for help. Does he initiate those conversations with you?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he wants to be great. I think that's what separates him from a lot of, you know, young guys in the league. Like, he wants to be great. He doesn't think he's perfect. He doesn't think he knows it all. He's still like seeking questions or seeking answers, and he's still asking questions. And so guys like him, you know, when they want the help, it's our duty to be there for them and get them to where they're trying to get to.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. That's all the time we have for you today. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
And take care, everybody. Thanks for joining.